see if this works. Not too sure if it's gonna work. Let's see if this works. Yes! Alright, cool. This is the pre-show. Let me see something. Oh, that's good. It's a little bright, but I don't care. It's cool. We'll do it. We'll do it like that for today. We'll do it like that, and then we'll do it like this. Tomatotis. Dippy don't that dick don't this. Oh, this one doesn't go there then. If I'm gonna do that. Oh, all my chats belong to me. That goes there. That goes there. This goes here. This goes here. Actually, let me do it down here first. That's about that. This is the pre-show. I am the pre-bro. That is how we do it. I am not a robot. I am not a go-bot. This is how we do it. Know what I mean? This is the pre-show. I am a pre-bro. This is how we do it. So I'll leave this for now, and then we will do a mixer page. Why? Because mainly because I need to see what my mixer people's saying. My mixer people. Is that me? Yeah, that's me. What am I talking about? Let me see. Why? Because oh boy, I still have the buzz. So apologies for that, but I am that but not that but that but I am working on a solution. Not really, but yes. Oh wait, that's not what I want. I want the chat. Okay, this just broke now. It's not working. Chat. There it is. 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 Woohoo! Where's my thing at? Boom. Alright, cool. Ah, la da 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 da. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Oh, my hair still hurts, by the way. If you guys want to know. My hair still hurts, by the way. And all that stuff. And I have a drinking problem, like an airplane. That's a very corny dad joke, but you know, I'm not a dad, so not to humans anyway. And I will turn down the AC in 8 minutes, because I need optimal cool blastiness, and my eyeball still hurts. But other than that, it's great. Yeah. So, let me pull up the all games. Do that. Let's set that up real quick. Stream. No, this one. Stream R9 cast. Stream 3. Dude, I don't remember which what number this is. I have to go here. Go here. No, here. Yeah. Past streams 337. That wasn't the last one, was that? I don't think that was the last one. Oh, I could download those? Cool. I'm so cool. You're so cool. I don't remember. But it's something. Just. Something down. I'll just go here. Oh no, I gotta do it on the other thing, right? Go to live. Why am I not live? Oh, there it is. I guess 373 was the last. I thought it was 375 or 6 or something. Man, I'm messing this all up, aren't I? Well. Oh, cool. cool. I got 102 followers. I appreciate all your follow-ivity. Those are words that are bad. They're not bad words. They just don't make no sense. Just don't make no sense. All right. 6 minutes. Wow, I can't believe I see that. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresher on. All right, so I'm gonna start streaming at startup. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. So it's R9Cast 374. Is it really? Huh. Oh, I was gonna do this. Let me do this. This manage channel. Let me get out of there so y'all don't see none of my secrets. Yeah, it was that. Alright, so I'll just change it to 4, I guess, and do it like that. I think I changed it somewhere else, that's why it's... Oops. Stupid. Forgot to see. Snow Art Edition. Did it. I did it. I did it. I should just put R9Cast Studio Cam with... Yeah, I'm going to just do that. I'm going to take the number out. That way I don't have to keep setting it. Know what I mean? Let's do that. Boom. Boom. Done. Done, son. What? Oh. I'm such an idiot. And that way, I don't have to worry about potato. Alright. R9Cast Live. Whatever, 374. I'll write it down. I swear it's 376, but I don't know. Okay. Boom. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Let me see what Twitch sounds like. Boom. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4. Okay, that don't sound bad. I don't know if y'all heard that, but that don't sound bad. You probably didn't hear it. I don't know anymore. All I know is that sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Ouch, ouch, Alright, I'm gonna start the butt. I'ma start the butt. Sexy, sexy. And aha! Okay, that worked. Let's see what all games talking about real quick. Let's see what all games talking about. Oh yeah! Welcome to the quiet storm. Esgee Lubba tabba dow. Oh yeah! I don't know. Yeah, it is. It is working. It is working. Kinda. It's kinda working. And aha! Yeah, okay, boy. That worked. Alright, cool. I mean, I got the sound, but yeah, cool. I'm like, how can I get rid of that sound? I know it's a wire. It's electronical wire interference somewhere. Maybe I need a loop. One of them loop jammies, gain loop gain, feedback loop, whatever it's called. I don't know. Or maybe I need to turn down something or others. Where's my volume? Whatever. Doesn't matter. I got it working. That's all that matters, right? 2 minutes. 2 minutes to count that. No, 2 minutes. 2 minutes to blast off. So talk amongst yourselves. Wait, I got leak eye. Leak eye. No, okay, I'm not doing that. I feel better. What movie is that from? I feel better. It's a great Ron Howard movie. Anyway. What up, y'all? It's our Nightcast, the official podcast, the Conquer Show, Super Dope Show for Esgee9.com, representing allgames.com. I am Stephen D. Gibson, aka Esgee, aka Electron Bandit, aka 1/5 of the independent game studio, Pink Array. Make it a game. Rafa, our chief engineer, is in Brazil, Sao Paulo, I believe, right now, pimping our game. Yeah, he's at the big festival, BIG festival, Brazilian Independent Games Festival. I believe that's what it stands for, BIG. And yeah, that's happening. It's pretty cool. So I guess after, I don't like to. It's like when Sony or Microsoft talk about a game too early, and they're like, yeah, we got this game, and they show a little bit, like, okay, and then next year, yeah, we got this game, and they show a little bit, you're like, all right, and then they show a little bit, and then next year they show a little bit, hey, we got this game, like, we want the game, stop playing. And then next year they showed it a little bit, yeah, we got this game, like, you know what, we don't care anymore, moving on to something else, because we've seen your game 4 years already. So we want to just do a good game. Do a good game. We want to create an experience that. But yeah, we want it to be dope and stuff. So we're working on it. You know, it's hard when it's 3 plus 2 of us. I mean, it's 5, but the main core is 3 plus 2. You know what I mean? Anyway, but it's more than that, because I don't want to diminish anybody's roles. They do their thing too. But there's only one art guy for real, so can't say, oh, we got 4 artists. Nope, one artist. So anyway, so I want to talk a few things. First, I'm tired. I just woke up half an hour ago, still tired, because either the drugs are kicking my butt, or I'm just not better yet. I think I'm better. I'm like, yeah, I feel better. And then I don't feel better. I'm like, wait a second, I don't feel better. Oh, why did I tell myself I don't feel better? I feel a little better. No, not that much better. But let me go to Ornate Cash real quick. I'm gonna unmute myself and put myself in here, and bam, I think I'm there. Am I connection info? What's the connection info here? I can't even see it. Hold on. The screen is messed up. Hold up. Oh, okay, it's connecting. Oh no. Haha. Okay. Is that working? Is it working? Streamer mode enabled. I guess. I don't know what that means. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm getting out. Let's see if this is still working. I don't know what that means. Let's see. I don't know what that means. Okay, it's still working. I'm getting out. Okay, cool. Let's see if this is still working. Alright, so, sorry. Ew, bloop. Alright, so, today we're going to talk about some more Sony shenanigans. Not that this is the Sony shenanigans spectacular show or anything. It's just, that's what happens to be in the headlines and news. And I've always known that if you look at the history and the trends of certain companies and how they act, and, I guess partly is leadership. Like, if you have a racist running your company might be racist. Just saying. Not all the people in the company, but, they may have racist tendencies. Not saying that Sony's racist, that's just an analogy. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Sony's greedy nature. not greedy, but not the hubris is strong. Fred Ross said it best. He said the hubris is strong, and I said, yup, he's right. And I mean, that's not all, but that's that's what it is. It's like it's okay. Hold up, how do? Yeah, okay. I don't know how to. I can't do the topic on our Ninecast is on. And wait, let me see if this is working here. I might have to reset it. Reset it and forget. I'm gonna redo my page here, just to see. Mr. Telephone Man. It's not working. Hold on. I'm gonna stop and start real quick. There's something wrong with my line. Wanna dial my baby number. I get a click every time. Is that how it goes? There they go. There they go. There they go. There they go. There, I can't hear it. Oh. There it is. Ooh, I still have a biz buzz. But I don't hear it on my side. See, I don't know, man. It's something weird. Anyway. So, I'll get it again. So, we're going to talk about Sony shenanigans. And we're going to talk about Incredibles 2. Because, dude, that movie is a movie. That's a dumb way to say stuff, right? Dude, that movie is a movie. Alright. And what else are we going to talk about? I was playing games, too. It's about Game Pass. Alright, so let's start off with a nice little primer, which is Incredibles 2. First and foremost, Incredibles 1 is better than Incredibles 2. Here's why. Not in every aspect, but in, I think, one important aspect that kind of clicks it over to number 1 being better. So first off, why the Incredibles 2 is better than the first one. Number 1, the technology, the animation, the models, all that stuff, the lighting, most importantly. If you look at the models from the first Incredibles, which was 2005, I believe. I think it was 2005. Let me oh, I can't even do it on the screen. I can't even do it on the screen because it's never a thing. Can't even do it on the screen. Alright, I need another window. Give me another window. Alright, so Incredibles 1. IMDb. IMDbo. IMD. Jesus. Jeez. Here we go. 2004. So that's 14 years. That's 14 years. Okay, I'm closing that window. 14 years ago, the first Incredibles came out. 14 years of computer and animation technology have progressed, and now we get the Incredibles 2. So, surprisingly, Incredibles 2 looks like Incredibles 1 because, all the models are the same, or, they look the same, blah, blah, same voice actors. And I think, the animation is better, but it's not to say the first Incredibles had bad animation. It didn't. It had great animation, but this one is just, everything's way more intricate. Water looks better. The ice, everything is just way, way better. Or better, let's just say better. But more importantly, the face and skin. And hair, I think, is a little better, too. I think they were getting their hair with Violet on the first one, and it was good, but it was just, like, extra shiny. It's like, that's way too, It's like, hey, we got this hair looking good, but they went a little too much on the glossy gloss, so it looks like, whoa, that hair, though. But, let me put this in All Games chat real quick. Our Ninecast is live right now. Bam! I did it, so people can come. Anyway, so it's the lighting, the skin, not the skin textures, but the the technical term for how light uh, bounces and kind of emits through the skin and stuff like that. I can't remember it because my brain, but yeah, it looks really good. I was like, okay, this is dope. They did a few cool things with I mean, it's really hectic. Like the action is really hectic. So I think the main problem with Incredibles 2 is that they put a lot of action. They put action scenes in it, right? And they're cool, but they're all cool. So there isn't like a crescendo to like boom, the super. This is the action scene of action scenes. Yay, you know what I mean? Like in the first Incredibles, right? It was like it was a build up how they like, oh, you know, they kind of set it up, and it was a little bit better world building for the first movie, but it was the first movie, so they had to do that. But it added to the overall, you know. And so when they were on the island and they were all fighting it, and then Dash does his run across the water, and it was like boom, that was the moment, and he knew it, and the audience knew it, and they were like boom, and then he was just running across it, and they had the music like it was like, oh shoot, it was dope, right? There isn't a scene like that in this movie. There's a scene where I'm gonna spoil it real quick. I'm gonna spoil Incredibles 2, so I don't know if y'all care. There's a scene where Jack is fighting a raccoon because he's a baby. I think he's 9 months old or something like that. And Jack, the problem with another problem with Incredibles 2 is that the dad, Bob is his name, right? Says, you have powers. He said that at the end of the first movie. He said, you have powers. Ah, all right. And then the movie was over. But he does the same thing here later. And I'm like, what? I thought that's not. He already knew that they had powers because after they killed what's his name from the first movie? I forgot his name. Syndrome. When they killed Syndrome, or defeated Syndrome, like they killed him. Well, they didn't. He flew into an engine. But anyway, when Syndrome was defeated, they found out right then and there because he turned into like weights and a baby into the demon and then to a fire baby and he dropped them and stuff. But anyway, so that part was like a little bit. I don't know about that, but whatchamacallit? But yeah, so they were. That's one part I was like, I don't understand what's going on here. Am I misremembering? No, I'm not misremembering. I remember it, I think. Or anyway, it doesn't matter. So back to Incredibles 2. So Incredibles 2, like I said, the action is so hyper explosive, intensive all the time that there isn't one standout part. They're all kind of cool action sequences. There's two that I like in particular. One is when Elastigirl is fighting Screenslaver in his lair, basically, and he has like a Faraday cage. And so, if you guys don't know, Screenslaver is a dude who uses hypnotic patterns on the screen that kind of flash and melt your brain, and then just people become zombies when they see it, and they just do whatever Screensaver says, basically. And so, and the actual movie has a warning, like this movie, it says epilepsy warning, basically, photosensitivity warning. And this was kind of rough for me to watch because my brain is melting all day long. But anyway, so she goes into his apartment. Basically, it's just like an apartment, and he has all this stuff hooked up. And he has a Faraday cage. She goes into the Faraday cage, and then he's there, and he locks them both inside, and he turns on and all the walls have the pattern. Is all crazy looking and electrified, and he has his goggles, so he's safe. But quote unquote safe, and she doesn't. So she closes her eyes, and she's fighting him with her eyes closed, and he's like, and she's kind of putting in punches, and it was kind of cool. I was like, okay. I mean, but it was still kind of hectic. But it was like there's a lot of cool things in the movie that make it cool. And besides, like Jack fighting the raccoon was just funny. It was funny because it was like he was fighting a raccoon because he was watching TV. Bob was asleep. He fell asleep. Jack sitting there watching TV with his bottle, and they show like an old timey like criminal robbing a store or whatever. He's like, ah, and he has the mask on and stuff, right? And so he's watching the criminal, and the criminal's like being a bad guy, and then he looks outside and there's raccoon with the mask, looking kind of creepy, right? And he's like, ah. And then he went out there. He's like, yeah, criminal. Basically, he doesn't talk. And then he's, and that was the start of the whole Jack versus the raccoon. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I think Jack is like the overall star. He's not the star, but he steals the show because you're never gonna know what Jack's gonna do, because he is what I believe E called a poly super. I think that's what she called him, because everybody else is like Bob and Violet and Dash and Elastigirl. I forgot her name. They're all just supers. Although Violet has invisibility and force fields. So that's the same Invisible Girl power. But I don't know if that's kind of a super bias. Well, anyway, I think E described Jack as a poly super or something like that, where he has a range of powers, and they basically said, like, as the kids grow into their powers, they tend to have multiple type of powers, but he's different. Jack is like, he's a poly super or whatever they call it, and he can do just about anything. He could teleport into another dimension. He could teleport through solid objects, obviously. He can grow into the demon. He can grow into the fire baby. He could turn into some viscous material, like a jelly blob. He was doing everything. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like Superman, basically, because it's like he has, the fact that he's a baby is the only reason why he is a good character. Because thank you, Tiger Cloud. If Jack was a grown ass man and he could do all these powers, he would be like virtually unstoppable, except for, I guess, his personality and mind and morals and all that stuff. But as a baby, he can't really talk. He understands pretty much, but he's a baby, right? So he's doing whatever. He's kind of has his baby impulses. So when he gets mad, he turns into the demon fire baby, and it's cool. It's cool. And at one point, he actually grows bigger. And they got him a special suit. E made him a special suit, so when he turns into a fire baby, they press a button on this like remote. It's like a Wii U, basically. I mean, a Switch, and they press it, and it does like a fire foam comes out, and it puts him out, and it's like, actually you can eat it. It's like blueberries or whatever, some kind of flavor. So he like did it on purpose at one point. He's like, and he turns to fire, and he grabbed the remote. He's like, do, and he started eating it because it's delicious, I guess. It was funny. Pace in chat says, you mean the Sony Hatecast? Are we doing Incredible 2 spoilers? Tara, why no Cast? Where's the love? Where's the love? You should add everyone right now. Yeah, add everyone, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for the suggestion, Pace. I appreciate it. We didn't see Jurassic World 2. Technical says, sub SG, did you see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Hope you stayed for the after credit scene. No, we didn't. So we're going to see that tomorrow. It was a choice between The Incredibles 2 or that, and I was like, you know what, let's just go see Incredibles real quick, because it'll probably be better than Jurassic World, honestly. Brad Bird already made the best superhero movie, which was the first Incredibles in 2004. So, and I haven't heard anything about Jurassic World, the Final Kingdom. What's it called? The Fallen Kingdom. So I haven't heard anything about it. So, and the commercials are cool, but whatever. But yeah, we'll see that tomorrow. I guess we'll talk about it tomorrow. I mean next week. But yeah, I was doing slight spoilers on Incredibles 2 because it's a fun movie. It's a good movie. Like I said, it's not as good as the first one, but if you're a graphics whore, it's better graphically, how it looks, animation, the scenes and everything. But I think emotionally is really close. But the thing is, the Incredibles, the first Incredibles set the precedent. So, like that whole family drama within the Parr family, and the first one is stronger, I think, because of how they set it up. How how Bob is like he hates his job at Insuricare, whatever it's called, and blah blah blah. And then he's going back, and then there's the lady with the silver hair, and then the wifey's like, who's this? And she thinks that he's cheating, but it's not like that. And then he's like, he's supposed to be the strongest man, but he's weak without his family. And so all of that congealed perfectly, and that's why the first Incredibles was the best. Was better than this one, but this one is good too. Pace says my favorite scene in the movie is the fight between Violet and Void. Void is dope. Yes, I agree. Void, I mean the characterization of Void isn't, but her powers are kind of cool. And like I was getting to like that was one of the great scenes. Pace, I agree. Or any scene with Void or powers, yeah. So the scene where Frozone is supposed to go and protect the kids because Bob's gonna go rescue Elastigirl. And all the zombie heroes, I call them zombie heroes, show up at the house, and Frozen was like, yeah, and then it's like a little bit of and then they fight inside the house. That was like, I was like, okay, all right, this is kind of dope with all these supers fighting each other. And then when was Regurgitate Man, Regurgiton, what is his name? No, Reflux. When Reflux came, Reflux is funny because I was like, hold up, this is old dude, like Reflux, what is he gonna do? And then he does it, and I was like, oh, okay. He's like throwing up lava and stuff. I was like, all right, you know what? Reflux. All right. I cannot doubt your boy Brad Bird, because I was like, come on, son, Reflux, really? And then he said, I was like, oh, okay. That surprised me. I was like, all right. Tiger says that you're saying Incredibles 2 is more incredible than the first one. No. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the first Incredibles was better, but not by much. And mainly because this is why. The family dynamic stuff, I mean, it's there, but it's not as strong as the first one because of Bob's whole, he's weak without the family and stuff. That was a very strong point right there, and it kind of, like I said, it congealed all the emotion into one juicy heart ball. In this one, it was more about Bob taking care of the family, Mr. Mom style. Violet and the boyfriend, kind of a little bit. It wasn't too much about Dash. Dash is just kind of a comic relief, kind of the little brother. Yeah, he doesn't get shine like he did in the first one, which is fine. He got a shine already. Violet gets more of a shine because she fought Void, like the scene, like Pace says. Pace's Reflex reminds me a bit of Stanley. Yeah, it's funny. So the other scene, that was the one scene where they were all the kids and Frozone were fighting all the other supers in the house. Oh shoot, I'm trying to think. The other scene was in the Faraday cage with Elastigirl and Screenslaver. That was pretty cool. I mean, I think the problem here's the problem of why I think the second one isn't as good as the first one is that the motivation for the bad guy isn't as strong. Like Syndrome in the first one, he's a nerdy little kid, and Bob treated him like shite basically, and then he was like, he got a vendetta basically. He's like, all right, you just created a supervillain, and it was cool. I mean, as goofy as Syndrome looked and was and sounded, whatever. It was still stronger as motivation for a villain character than how they presented it in this movie. Like, this movie is brother and sister have this mega corporation that they inherited from their parents, and so it's Better Call Saul from Better Call Saul, and then I don't know who the actress is that plays the sister, and they want to bring the supers back, but they just need to have the right perception, the public perception, and that's what they did. They put little cameras, and then they edited it up, and they show all the stuff, and they show Elastigirl being a super and all that stuff, and they explain why this happened, because there was some burglars broke into their parents' house and killed the parents, and I mean, the fact that I understand it is fine, but they didn't. It wasn't enough, like, kind of emotional. It wasn't clear and cut, like Bob treated little kid like crap, and he said, get out of here, kid, I work alone, right? And then boom, and then whatever, 10-20 years later, boom, the kid is the bad guy because you treated him. You were the one who created the bad guy, basically. So that makes it's clear and cut. It makes a little more sense, even though it might be a little bit. Anyway, so this one is the parents get killed, right? And I believe the sister was explaining it that the reason why they died is because the father had put in phones for the superheroes. Basically, he had he had his direct line to all these superheroes. To I forgot what they were. They were the ones from that they had mentioned in the first movie, and so he put the direct lines because he loved superheroes so much. You know, he was really pro superhero, and he's a super rich dude. So he did that, and then when the people broke in, they had a safe room, and it's like, let's go to this. The mom wanted to go to the safe room. The dad was like, no, I'm gonna call the superheroes, and he called. Nobody picked up. They ended up getting killed by the bad guys, by the intruders, or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be them when the kids did it, right? I was like, no, that's not it. Like, that's me trying to figure out the movie. Don't try to figure out the movie. It's not even that deep, because basically the sister is the bad guy. Spoilers. So she resents the fact that the supers never showed up to save their parents because the father had so much faith in the supers. So she's like, you guys didn't show up to save my parents, blah blah blah. Or I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of the emotion and the motivation behind her thinking, right? And she's a super nerd. She's not a super nerd. She's just a super gadget. She's inventing all the cool stuff. And the brother's just a salesman, so the brother just sells the stuff. The sister's doing all the stuff. That's how she can be screenslaver. And so I guess in the third act, they reveal that she's the bad guy, and she's putting these goggles on, whoever to control them, screenslaver style. And anyway, long story short, like all the supers most of the supers get controlled. Even the parents, the mom and Bob and Frozone, they all get, and so the kids have to kind of save the day. And it was cool. It was cool how they broke into the boat, and I was like, you know what, this is a good one. I like this. And there was a part where because the music's done by Michael Giacchino, I believe that's how you say his name, and I mean, he did the first one too, so it's it's still the same flavor. But there was a part, I forgot what it was, where it's just really cool. And then she saves like the ambassador lady of world peace or whatever, I forgot. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I mean, if The Incredibles didn't exist, this would be the best superhero movie. But the first Incredibles exists. So this is a perfect continuation because it literally leads off right when the first Incredibles ends, where the Underminer comes out. It's like, where I'm the Underminer, ah, ha, ha, ha. And then they put on their mask and stuff. It literally starts right there. Not exactly right there. It's a kid that was there, and he's a witness, and he's telling the story, and they set it up good, but it starts at that action scene, and then they go through that whole action scene. And the reason why they get in trouble is because they cause so much damage in the city, because the Underminer comes up and he was basically robbing a bank, so he like did all these holes to drop the bank. It's all kind of crazy stuff. It's really intricate, like the action scenes, the animation is very, 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 very good. If you like Pixar and you like The Incredibles, watching Incredibles 2 because it's definitely dope. Tiger Club puts in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom has made $150 million at box office. So yeah, that's good for Paramount. Is that Paramount? No, that's not Paramount. That's Universal, right? Jurassic World is Universal? I think it's Universal. I don't even remember. It has to be Universal because they're... That doesn't matter. Plus, with over 711 million worldwide, it's on a course. Yeah, it's 861. Yeah, they'll make their money. I mean, we're going to see it tomorrow, so yeah. Yeah, Universal. Thank you. But yeah. So Incredibles 2 is dope. Watch it. Jurassic World will be good too. I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but I opted for I said, let's watch Incredibles because I feel like crap, you feel like crap, we both feel like crap. So let's just watch something that'll probably get our moods up. Because those kind of tend to do. Even though, like, in front of every Pixar movie, there's a little animated short. Pixar. This one was a Pixar animated short done by I want to say, I don't know if it's Japanese or Chinese. I'm not sure because I can't read either. But it was sad. It was a sad. It was a sad one, because it was about a mom and the kid growing up. It was like, okay, it was cute and it was weird and it was sad, and it did not set the mood right. There's nothing wrong with it, but it was just like, ugh, that doesn't leave you like in a good space to be like, oh yay. Especially if you just had a kid like leave home for college or whatever, then you're like, oh, thanks for reminding me, freaking Pixar, you saw my bitches. But yeah, that's a good. It's a good family movie. I don't think there's anything, but like I said, there is a warning, epilepsy warning, and that the pattern that they use for the mind control stuff, that's some intense. If you got epilepsy, don't go see this movie because you don't see it in the theater. At least see it at home, and maybe they'll have a epilepsy-free version where I don't know how they would do that, but yeah, it's pretty intense. I was like, wow, you know how when you look at those optical illusions that are black and white and they're like a pattern, and you look at it and it just starts moving and stuff. It's like that except times 1,000 with computer graphics and flashy lights. It's weird. It's weird. So, but anyway, yeah, Incredibles 2 is pretty incredible. I love it. I love Pixar, even though Disney bought them. I still love it. Brad Bird, please keep making incredible movies. Please make an Incredibles 3. I want to see an Incredibles where they grow up and Dash is bigger. I know, like jump 5 years ahead, where Dash is what is he like 10 now? So it'd be like 15, and Violet is 20 or something. Is it 5 years? I guess Violet's about 15, right? But she's in junior high. So yeah, no, well she might be 18, I guess. So she might be. I don't even know what the ages are, but anyway, yeah. So she might be 18 or 18, older. Old enough to be like, I'm an adult now, blah blah blah. So there's always the thing about the Incredibles, which is pretty dope, is that it's about a superhero it's about a family first. They just have powers, and that's what the movies have always been. So when they make a good movie about the family first, and then add these situations that require them to be super families and to work with each other and blah blah blah. It works out. So they can do it because, kids grow up. Jack will be, if they go 5 years, Jack will be like 6. So he'll be a little bit younger than what Dash is now. Well, yeah, a couple years. So it'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool. So and then Jack can either still have all his powers, control them better, maybe be a little defiant. He could still, if you're 6, you could still be a little. Well, you could be naive and still listen to your parents. Although he's defiant already, but he's a baby, so they get angry and then whatever. But no, the brother actually, Dash was pretty funny. He was the comic relief as far as in the family itself. Him and Dash combined, yeah. I mean him and Jack. But anyway, enough about Incredibles. Incredibles was incredible. So I enjoyed it a lot. What the thing is I just realized, we like video games, we like movies, music, such and such, TV, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of good stuff being made. And you look at, like, The Last Jedi, like, oh, this is garbage, blah, 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 blah. But if you look at it as a movie, as a science fiction movie, it's a good movie. The fact that it took the characters that we knew and loved and wanted to go in a certain direction and didn't do what we wanted, what we had predisposed for their fates, is a whole nother topic. That's a psychological discussion, I believe. And I mean, there've been like, I think there's a petition or they raised like $200 million for them to remake The Last Jedi. And then Ryan Jackson on Twitter was like, please do this, please. I was like, oh, Ryan Johnson is a troll. But honestly, I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they already had canceled the standalone, the Star Wars storylines of movies. You know, Obi-Wan and all that stuff. But that isn't a reason why they couldn't do Obi-Wan. But I think that Jon Favreau can do an Obi-Wan live action show, which would make more sense because we're talking about the years between the years between after episode 3 and episode 4. So was it 15 years or something? 16, 17 years, something like that? So you have 17 years to cover within that. So you could literally do a year a season for the Obi-Wan movie. The Obi-Wan live action show by Jon Favreau, right? You could do 17 years if you say, you know what, if this works out, one season a year. Let's say there's it's a high budget, so 13 episodes a year, which would be 13 episodes, so 2 episodes per month, let's just say. No, that's not right. That's one and change, so 1 episode a month, let's say. Give or take 1 episode. So 1 month is 1 episode. If you want to do it that way, that doesn't make any sense, honestly. But whatever. But say if they shifted it, you know what I mean? Say if they said, Target says, nope, they did not cancel the standalone movie. No, I'm not saying they didn't cancel the standalone movies. I'm saying that they already had I thought they had said, there was, let me see. What are you saying? Hold up, Star Wars fans reports of that a future standalone movies, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so maybe they didn't, but I know they're reconsidering. And they have Ryan Johnson doing their trilogy. They have the Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones writers are writing the Jon Favreau. Is that how that's working? They're writing the live action, or no? They have their own movies as well, right? They have their own trilogy. The Game of Thrones dudes have their own trilogy of movies. So they have 2 new trilogies. One from Ryan Johnson, one from the Game of Thrones guys, and a live action show from Jon Favreau. They literally don't need they don't need the standalone Star Wars storyline because they have the problem with Solo and the problem with Solo when it came out because it came out too close to The Last Jedi. Although I think it was smart because it kind of took the bad taste out of your mouth. It was like, all right, Solo was cool. Yeah, it was at least better than The Last Jedi, right? So people are starting to forget Last Jedi is garbage. We don't like it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's not my opinion. That's the popular belief or the loud minority, saying The Last Jedi is whack. But if you look at the numbers, what do the numbers say? Are the Last Jedi numbers bad? No. Solo has had bad numbers, but it's a better movie as far as perception goes, right? But what matters? The number? Does perception matter or do the numbers matter? This is the same dilemma that Sony finds themselves in. Do the numbers matter more than perception? Right now, the numbers matter more than perception for Sony. Moving back to Star Wars. So, even if they say, you know what, we're going to take a break on the Star Wars story stuff. Let's concentrate on the Jon Favreau stuff. Let's concentrate on the Ryan Johnson stuff. Let's concentrate on the Game of Thrones stuff. Although those aren't really ready. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some time before Jon Favreau, the live action stuff comes out, before the other 2 trilogies, the Ryan Johnson and the Game of Thrones guys, because they're still doing Game of Thrones, I believe. And once they said once they finish that, then they could jump on the Star Wars stuff. So that's going to be a while. As far as Ryan Johnson, I don't know how long it takes him to do stuff. I know that Ron Howard is very efficient. He's a very efficient filmmaker. That's why he is. That's why he's good. He's good because he makes great films. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. 80% of Solo is Ron Howard, and it was a good movie, right? So, it depends on what 80% of it did he do particularly. I want to know. That's the documentary I want to know. I want to see if Disney would do this. This would be so awesome, right? Disney needs to do it like an ultimate 4K Blu-ray, right? And put the Ron Howard cut and put the Lord and Miller cut, where they take all of their footage, cut it into a movie, and put it on there. I would watch it. I would buy that. I would buy that so quick. That would sell so many copies. Be like, this is unofficial. This is not canon. But here's the Lord and Miller cut. And I would watch that. And then there would be so much talk around, you know, whether or not Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm were correct in firing these guys, right? Or, I mean, that's tricky because they might sabotage that cut and make it just bad on purpose. But if they were true, if they were like, you know what, you know, we did it, we spent all this money, put it out. So it's got to be a way for that stuff to come out somehow, some way. The footage exists. I'm pretty sure they didn't destroy the footage. That would make no sense. It has to come out. Somebody please steal the footage and cut it into a movie. Let us watch it because I'm super curious, man. I'm so curious. It's almost like, I mean, proclaiming that it's not canon is important because when George Lucas went back to the original trilogy, started turning stuff, changing stuff, adding the Jabba the Hutt scene in the New Hope, I was like, oh gosh. And then he changed it like 3 different times. He used the original actor, and then he changed it with a CG Jabba, and then he did another new and improved CG Jabba, and I was like, oh my god, this sucks so bad. Oh, why? So, yeah, but I would be interested in that. I would be interested. I am interested. Give it to me. Tiger says they need to give Ron Howard his own Star Wars movie so that he has complete control of it. He's someone Lucasfilm can trust. Yeah, I think. I mean, if Ron Howard wants to do it, I think he would be down, and I think he should get. He should direct. He should direct a Star Wars movie. I mean, a new. he did already. He should direct a new Star Wars movie. It all depends on the writers. Like Kasdan and Kasdan did a pretty good job with Solo, so I wouldn't be opposed to having them write another one. Although I think the senior Kasdan said that he's done. And I don't know how much of Solo he actually wrote and his son wrote. You know what I mean? I don't know what that balance was. So I can't automatically say, oh, his son is a Kasdan, so it's going to be great. Like that's not how it works. So his son could be a better writer than the elder Kasdan, or he's just a not good writer, and he's just kind of riding on the coattails of his pops. And maybe he was there for youthful references or something. Like, oh, I want to say this. How do I say it in today's tongue, Sonny? And he says, say it like this, Pops. And he's like, good, thanks. You're a writer now. I don't know. So, you know, that's the thing. So I would have to go back and look at Ron Howard's, the writers that were on those movies, like A Beautiful Mind and Apollo 13. Can't say Willow because that was George Lucas. So, and I was gonna say, well, have George Lucas do one, see what comes up with, you know, because it's not like Lucasfilm. Disney owns Lucasfilm. Disney owns Lucasfilm, so it's not like they couldn't hire up. They couldn't say, yo, George, write us a Star Wars movie to see what you got, son. And I mean, actually, I don't know if he would do it because he gave them the treatment for 5, 6, and 7. I mean, I'm sorry. 7, 8, and 9. He gave them the treatment, but they threw it out. So if you want to blame somebody, you could blame Kathleen Kennedy for throwing out that. But the prequel trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, that was George too. So is it the direction in those movies that made it bad? Was it too heavy on the politics? You know, I mean, if you look at it as a movie, it's okay. I mean, some of it's okay. The first one has a cool action scene here or there. Okay, the pod racing scene is the only good part of that movie, basically. And Darth Maul in the fight at the end. That's the only 2 bright spots. But, you know, it's like Tiger Glass says, it turns out Lucas's treatment would have been different, and he said the fans would hate it. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad. And that's the whole dilemma. Tiger Claw just kind of crystallized it all. People, when The Force Awakens came out, People hated it because, oh, it's the same old Star Wars. It's just a rehash, right? That's what people said. Last Jedi comes out. Oh, wait. I thought Luke was the hero. Why didn't you do what we thought it was going to be? Well, that's what The Last Jedi was. The Last Jedi was what you thought it was going to be. What you loved, right? So it's like you can't have it both ways. You can't have it, oh, this is how Star Wars is supposed to be, or I wanted something different. You can't. You just the fans just proved that Star Wars. The fans just proved that they don't know what they want, because Lucasfilm made both of those movies. They made the movie you remember. They made Star Wars great. Then they made the movie that you wanted after you saw Force Awakens, and you hated it. So, you know what? Screw the fans. That's what I say. And they're bastards for harassing the stars and all that stuff. Pace says, guys, when are we going to start up a Fortnite party, man? It has crossplay, except for the PS4. Oh, you want to do that? We could do that. I could play that on my X, son. They got all them graphics on it. Yeah, we could do that. I've been playing Sea of Thieves. Hey, you been playing Sea of Thieves, Space? I got all the skeleton thrones. It was kind of hard. The last one took us over an hour and a half. It was me and these other guys, these two other guys I had met. I was like, yo, man, we need to go get some skeleton. Because they were shooting at me first. I was like, please don't shoot at me, please. I'm trying to get the skelly forts, the skelly thrones, help. And then they're like, all right, yeah, cool. So we did it. But yeah, man, that was what they're doing in Sea of Thieves, basically forcing people to join up with strangers in the world, it's a pretty special, miraculous, and awesome thing, because it's making me, it's like I'm making kind of new friends. I put both of them on my game. I mean, they're young kids. They're like high school kids, but whatever. But they were funny. You know, it's like, you run into people, regardless of age, that have a certain sense of humor. Some young people are dumb. Some old people are dumb. It's just like, you're annoying. Get out of my face. Same thing with young people. Same thing. But these guys, they were like, yeah, they were kind of making jokes about each other and stuff. And I was like, okay, y'all are cool, whatever. So we did the thing, and then we made, hooked up on the friends list, and so I have some more buddies to play Sea of Thieves with. I mean, it was necessary for me because I was playing with Subsea and Tedekin before, but they left me. They left me and joined the Pioneers program, so now I can't play with them. Well, I can if they, but they're on the next level stuff, and I was like, oh, that's messed up, yo. All right, later. I was kicking rocks down the road. Tiger says they got something different with The Last Jedi, and they hated it because it was different. They can't make up their minds. Yeah, exactly. It sucks. It sucks for the filmmakers because Last Jedi, on its own, as it is a movie, is a great movie. They just don't like what happened with Luke. It was mainly Luke. If the things were different about Luke's character, how he wasn't a quote-unquote punk, or he didn't show up for real, whatever, he didn't throw away the lightsaber and all this stuff, what would they have a problem with? Like, what would be the problem with The Last Jedi? I think the main problem is how they treated the character of Luke. But I kind of liked it because go back to the first Star Wars movie where he's a little kid, he's cocky, he's inexperienced, right? Blah, 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 da, 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 Is he a hero for real? I mean, he does heroic stuff. He's still a bumbling kind of fool. He just has the Force, so he can shoot the torpedoes into the Death Star. Nobody else can because they suck. They don't have the Force. That's kind of if you dive deep into what the character of Luke Skywalker is, that The Last Jedi is kind of an evolution of the character, and that's kind of why I liked it, because it made sense. Everybody, all these people who are against The Last Jedi are propping up Luke Skywalker as this noble knight who has no flaws, which is wrong because he kissed his sister. He should have known that was his sister because of the Force. But no, did it. Whatever. Princessness is stronger than sisterhood, siblinghood. I don't know. So if you go to Empire Strikes Back, once again he's cocky. He leaves Yoda too early. He makes a lot of bad decisions. He loses his hand. No, this is impossible. You not my daddy. All these things. Do y'all forget that he went there and lost his hand? And he went there because they set a trap. They tortured Han to get him there. That's why they did it. Luke Skywalker played into the hands of the Empire in the second movie. He wasn't brave and smart, and I mean, like I said, he did heroic things, but he was a bumbling fool. Third movie, Return of the Jedi. He rescues Han, yes. Okay, I think that was the one first glimmer of, oh yeah, he's more of a hero now. He has more experience, I guess. Target says when you look at Star Wars today, the rebels are basically terrorists. Pace says don't like terrorists. Anyway, Luke Skywalker, right? He goes, he rescues Han from Jabba, blah, blah, blah. Jabba plays him like a fool because Jedi mind tricks don't work on the Hutts, basically, or Jabba at least. The fact that Luke Skywalker didn't realize he was standing on a grate that went into the pit of the Rancor pit was kind of suspicious. That means that he doesn't have all the experience. He may think, once again, he goes in there cocky, like, yo, I got my black suit on, son. What's up? I got my robe, son. I look like a Sith, but I'm not. You know? So he goes in there cocky, so cocky that he gets dumped into a Rancor pit because he wasn't using the noggin. He has this Testostacles or freaking whatever, midichlorians in his bowls, super, whatever. I don't know. So then, okay, so that happens, right? And he seems wise throughout the movie, right? He's like, "You're my sister," and all this stuff, and then and he's like, "Well, Leia, no," and then they do the bike thing, and wait, I'm missing something. Okay, so we're Return of the Jedi, and he goes back to Yoda. Yoda dies. Then he leaves there. He meets him back on Endor, right? And then they have the fight, and he goes to the Emperor, and that was his final test. I mean, the fact that he didn't turn right then and there. Well, the fact that so he didn't turn, right? But here's the problem with people saying that The Last Jedi isn't Luke Skywalker. That's not how Luke Skywalker. It's exactly how Luke Skywalker would act, and exactly the trajectory from Return of the Jedi. Because when Darth Vader was like, "Oh, your sister, I'm gonna turn her instead," and he's like, "No," and Luke tapped into the dark side and started whooping Darth Vader's ass. And he's like, "Bow, bow, boom," cut off his hand, and he was like, he had the same look. Go back and watch Return of the Jedi. He had the same look on his face as when he was sitting there in front of Kylo Ren about to put the smackdown on Kylo Ren before he realized. Same thing. Same Luke Skywalker. Y'all are tripping. Everybody who says that The Last Jedi isn't right is tripping because they just have amnesia. They don't remember, oh yeah, I forgot that he basically killed his dad. Basically, he weakened him and such, so when he went to pick him up and throw the Emperor over, that was it. That was the cherry on top for Darth Vader. It was curtains. So Luke Skywalker helped kill Darth Vader, basically. Helped kill his dad. So, I mean, you have to put all these things into context, and then you say, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense that he would react like that. It's the same thing he did with his pops, except he in The Last Jedi, he exhibited more restraint than when he faced Darth Vader because he didn't actually kill Kylo Ren. He realized, and then it was too late because Kylo saw the blade and was like, oh, snap, you know. So, you know, the circumstance, and I was like, yo, if you look at it and break it down, that it makes so much sense and it feels right. But everybody's like, no, Luke Skywalker's a hero. Anyway, we're not talking about The Last Jedi. Star Wars is great, blah, blah, blah. Whatever they do, I'll watch the movies, blah, blah, blah. So games I've been playing. And we'll leave Sony for last. So I was like, I got this X. Let me check out these games and stuff. So I had The Witcher 3 from back in the day. I played it. I got to a certain point. I got to Skellig Island. I think I finished most of the stuff at Skellig Island. I had to go back to Novigrad, I think it was, or whatever. I can't remember. The main isle, the main land. And I couldn't remember how to get back. So I was like, oh, let me play it on the X. I booted up. And my save is not corrupted. It says I'm missing some downloadable contents, which is like a beard, mustache and beard content patch and something else, and it wouldn't let me load. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? So I had to start a new game in The Witcher. I was like, ugh. So I got to do the witch thing, and I have to do the Blood Baron thing, the two main things in the main. Which is fine, because those are awesome. The witch thing was really creepy. But, Z1 Scorpio. Check. Okay, Judo, I cannot answer the phone. I cannot answer the phone, okay, Judo. Sorry, Kaijudo, I can't answer the Skypes because they can't hear you on the stream. So I haven't hooked that up. My bad. It's my fault. It's my fault. But just go into chat. I'm in All Games chat, so go into chat and any questions I will read. Or you can go into Mixer. Esgee Mixer. Come on, Judo, I can't do that. Do. Oh wait, I know what. Kaijudo.
Hey, what's up? You can hear me?
I can hear you. Wait, talk a second. Let me see.
Yeah. What's up? You hear me?
I can hear you, but the stream cannot hear you, and that's the problem.
All right. Well, I'm only going to be on for like a few minutes anyway. I just wanted to comment real quickly on the Luke Skywalker thing.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Now, I don't agree with those fans. I'm not one of those toxic Star Wars fans. Like, I was happy that they were doing back-to-back movies. You know, I was all for it. I'm not into the boycott, none of that BS. But what I can say about the Luke Skywalker thing that I think that you're missing is he was different, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I believe that, you know, people change, and it's good to have the character change. Right. But all the stuff that you mentioned, when he ran off and left his training to save Han Solo, and the mistakes that he made and all that stuff, and killing Darth Vader, like he did all that because he had hope. That's why they call it the New Hope.
Yeah.
And he did it because he's an optimistic person, and you know, no matter what, you know, even though they told him that he was going to fail or whatever, he would always like defeat those odds, and he would just have like hope and optimism, and that's what the Luke Skywalker and the Last Jedi was missing. But you can obviously tell he was missing that. Yeah, he was missing that because, you know, his nephew went to the dark side. He felt like he was a complete screw up, just like what you mentioned earlier, how he screwed up a lot of things. He had a lot of self-guilt and doubt and that type of stuff, and that's why he became which I believe is why he became what he was in The Last Jedi. But I think that you're missing just those facts that, you know, he was a very optimistic guy, he wanted to help everybody, and yeah, you're right in the way that he was a screw up, and he did screw up.
Okay, you know what? Yeah. I did overlook that. Yeah, he lost faith. He lost faith in himself. So yeah,
and
but that's part of. I think that's what it is right there. That's the main issue with the character as a whole, right? Is the loss of hope. But everything else. See, I guess maybe if they explained why or how he lost hope better, then it would work better, right? I'm trying to
maybe if fans were, you know, less, you know, crabby about the new stuff and just, you know, did their research, maybe they wouldn't need to do that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you know, because if they did that, then they'd be like, oh, they just retold Luke Skywalker's story again. How come we didn't get new Luke Skywalker stuff? You know, right. So like, I think that fans just need to do their research, you know, study these films, because, you know, they are connected with each other, and, you know, there is a longer story to be told. You know, they can't, you know, they want their characters to remain the same character that they were back in whatever. But, you know, that's not even the truth. Like, look at the actors look at them outside the movie. Look at Harrison Ford. I'm pretty sure when he first got the role of Han Solo, he was happy about it. Like, he was like, I don't like this role.
Yeah.
Kill me already. You know?
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know if you mentioned, I didn't hear the part, but I'm just upset that these toxic fans, they had enough they have such a loud voice that they basically got these directors and these creative people really scared to make any new Star Wars stuff. So they're gonna put like a lot of the spin, well, not the spin off. What do you call those things? Those in between stories. Put those on hold.
Well, that's what. Yeah. I mean, Tiger Club put a link in chat saying that it wasn't true, basically. Yeah, I'll put it in All Games chat real quick for you, if you're there.
I'm not in any chat. I'm like I've been off the internet for like 2 weeks. So
Oh, well, it's a ABC News, abc.go.com uh, article where it says multiple films still in Star Wars pipeline sources, whatever. Da, 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 da. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but yeah. So
all right.
I guess it's not true. It's just kind of a rumor or speculation or something.
And there's no tie. It's not one of those stories where it's like it's not true, but there is some truth to it. It's completely
I
false.
mean, it really did sound more like speculation than anything else to me. And if there was, I don't think there was any official statement from Lucasfilm or Kathleen Kennedy. So it's all speculation at this point.
Yep.
But
And one big point I want to make, and then I'll let you get to your show.
all
But
right.
yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening up here, by the way. I'm listening on TuneIn. You guys will on
Oh,
TuneIn.
yeah, cool, thanks.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I haven't had internet access for like going on 2 weeks now, so I should be back in the All Games chat next week.
Oh,
So
true,
look
true.
there. But anyway,
Right.
my point is that with science fiction, like people, one of the arguments they try to make with the new Star Wars is like, oh, they're trying to be too politically correct. They're trying to be, they're trying to do this whole inclusive thing, and and Star Wars is not about politics and blah blah blah. I'm like, if you did your effing research, you know that what's the name of the soldiers that work for Darth Vader? Stormtroopers. Where they come from? They came from the whole not Nazi thing.
Yeah,
There's politics all over Star Wars.
yeah. The
Yeah,
whole
the original.
the basis of
Yeah,
Star Wars is political because it's rebel factions against the state basically. So yeah,
right. So it's political, but I think where these new ones are making a mistake, and this is where they can actually blame the Kathleen Kennedys and all that stuff, is that they don't know how to execute it really well. Like what Lucas was able to do was he was able to throw in all these like political things, because remember in what was it, episode 3, when Anakin was like, if you're not, what was it? He was like, if you're not with me, you're again. He basically took that line
yeah,
from our modern day politics at that time. And people that caught that got really upset. Like, oh, you're anti whatever, whatever. So it's always been that type of controversy in there. But what Lucas was able to do was like he could put those messages in there and still give you like a fun movie. Like you felt like you were having fun, like you were on a ride and you didn't really realize you were learning certain things or whatever, or he was teaching you a lesson. Where I think in these movies they haven't really found a way to like put that right amount of humor in there, the right amount of drama, and then also like hide those messages in there, like have them in there, but just hide them. Because I mean, look at Princess Leia. I mean, Princess Leia was like, Me Too movement before we had. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. And I think the problem with the humor as well is that it's a little off. It's like it feels like it's not the right type of humor. But I'm old, so of course that's me. Like millennials might be like, yeah, that's funny, that's cool. But it feels like it is more kind of skewed towards millennial type humor. But I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but it just feels a little weird to me. But yeah, I mean, one of the problems I guess with the sequel, with the prequels, was that it was too much politics, and I don't know, it was kind of
I
a
know.
weird.
Yeah, I speak to a lot of millennials, and I mean they love those movies. Like they were like 9 and 12 when those movies were out, and
Right.
they loved it. I mean, the adults were the ones that were like, oh, it's too much talking, but like it's always the adults that like basically ruin a lot of this stuff. Like I don't know about what kids they think because I don't have any kids, but
Right.
I'd be curious for like somebody to interview some kids and ask them what they think about the
Oh.
new stars, because I mean, after all, it's for them first, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
then us. Like
But
I do have to get.
well, my question is then is are the complaints from the Last Jedi really just from the old heads, the old Star
It is.
Wars heads? Yeah, it is. I would think so because I mean, I want to talk to are people like interviewing millennials about the Last Jedi and saying like, what do they think? Because like you just said, they are making that's their target demographic at this point.
Yeah. Mhm.
The old Star Wars heads, they're gonna watch regardless because it says Star Wars on it,
Right.
but they need to grow the audience to keep the audience going. So yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, if you look at it in that way, and if you well not you but you as a general statement, what you call it, embrace the millennial mindset or movement, or just understand it and don't hate it 100,000%, then I think you probably go into these movies and join them more. and not just being
Mhm.
old and crotchety, you know. So
Yeah, 'cause
I guess I have a little bit of millennial in me, or I understand him a little more, I guess, than some people
because
do.
my one complaint with what is it, Last Jedi, was just like I don't know, they just had like the scene that really bugged me was the whole like Finn waking up out of the thing and just falling. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
That's
didn't
what I'm
need to.
saying. When the humor, like some of the humor is
Yeah,
like, not. It's not.
all the all the Luke Skywalker stuff I had to laugh at. Like even though it was like something that you totally didn't see in previous Star Wars, I still laughed at it. Like the whole thing with the planet, saying, "Do you feel that? Do you feel that?" She's like,
Yeah, that was funny. That was
yeah,
funny.
and it was so like out of nowhere. Like you wouldn't expect that from a Star Wars fan. Like I like the fact that they were trying to surprise us with stuff, but I just do feel that like the execution of it wasn't done really well. Like I think that
Yeah.
like it needed a little bit more time in the oven, but it's still a great movie. Like I wouldn't change it. I'm not supporting that whole fans want to remake the movie, but that's the movie. That's what it is. Let's move on to episode 9 and see what that's going to be. You know?
Yeah. You know what? I think they can, like what you just said about Hope. I think they can actually fix it with 9 because he's gonna come back as a Force ghost. That's a given. Come on, we already know that, right? So
Yep.
he's probably gonna explain, I lost hope. Blah blah. It's just exactly what you said, basically, to kind of not retroactively fix it, but to explain further the motivation of where he was and
Right.
why he did what he did. And I think I have faith. I mean, you don't like J.J. Abrams as much as I do, but he makes good movies, I'll say. And I think he can pull it off. I think he
Yeah,
can pull it off.
I gave him one compliment. That's one thing I always say about him is that he knows how to direct a big cast. I think
Yeah.
that's like his issue. Like all of his movies, like especially the Star Trek stuff, like when they deal with like multiple characters,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
can balance that out like nobody else. So like if he's directed, then I know that each character is gonna get their shine in the movie. Nobody's gonna feel like, oh, they didn't have enough Finn or they didn't have enough Ray.
Yeah.
I think he'll be able to balance all that out.
That's true.
He will
That's
bring
true.
it out the Force.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be good when it comes out.
Yeah,
Anything
and
else, Kaijudo? Because I wanna.
Xbox still sucks. And I'm out of here. I'll be listening to
Wait,
the rest of the
what you say? Xbox still sucks. You son of a bastard! How dare you? All right, Kaijudo. Have a good
All right,
one, man. I appreciate you calling
thanks.
in.
I'll
All
be
right, man.
back.
Yeah. Peace. Doot, 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 doot. That was Kaijudo, everybody. I know some of you guys didn't hear him because I suck at audio, but yeah. But that was a excellent point by Kaijudo. How he explained to me, I went through all that stuff about Luke Skywalker, but I negated the fact that hope was the thing that he lost in the Last Jedi, which what he had in the previous movies, and they didn't really explain where he lost his hope because there was time between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens where something happened, and I mean they explained it, but they didn't. They need to really be specific into where it happened so that we can understand the change in his character and why he changed, and I would assume that he's a Force ghost now, so I guess his hope can be restored, so he can be back to the old Luke Skywalker that everyone loves and remembers and stuff. Sorry, Z1 Scorpio in Twitch, I missed you. He said, "You say I kissed my sister, and I knew she was my sister." So yeah, that's the thing. He knew. He doesn't even have the Force. Burr says there needs to be a Star Wars that's sympathetic to the Empire and shows them as the good guys. Yeah. Yeah, maybe now with Star Wars Rebels and the portals, maybe you can get a Mirrorverse thing. That's another thing. I haven't watched Rebels. I don't watch Rebels, but I do understand what's happening in Rebels as far as like you said, the portals. I forget, it's like that other dimension where you can just time jump, and I was like, wait, what? What is this now? Oh shoot! I just had a thought that's not good. That's really bad. What if J.J. Abrams taps into those portal things? I think he's gonna tap into the portal stuff. What if he does a time? I mean, he did a time jump. What did he do it in Star Trek? Oh yeah, the first Star Trek was about Spock going into the other past universe, or in the past, the Kelvin Star Trek universe. So if Star Wars, if what can happen? I mean, they already did it in Rebels, but what could happen that would change Star Wars Episode 9? I don't know. It's all up in the air with the time portals and all that stuff. It's just, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know how we got on Star Wars so deep. We were talking about freaking what were we talking about? Oh, I was playing games. The Witcher 3. I had to start over. So now I'm about to go find the witches. I think I'm going to find the... No. I defeated the Griffin. Yeah. Now I'm going to find the witches. Either the witches or the Blood Baron. So I got to figure out. I don't know if I'm going to play... I just wanted to play it because I wanted to see the graphics. The 4K-ness. And it looks pretty. And the reason why I wanted to play it as well is because the Cyberpunk 2077. Okay. So there's a game. Let's say there's a game every generation that is just like the game. Up until now, and it just happened, it was The Witcher 3 actually. It was the best. It is the best game so far. People say God of War. Sure. Let's say they're tied for best game. Cyberpunk, better than both of those. I say right now, Cyberpunk 2077. I haven't even seen gameplay yet. I've been listening to numerous podcasts where they describe, especially Young. Yeah, he goes deep. He goes an hour and a half into it. They describe because some people saw the demos, most people didn't, and they haven't shown the footage yet. I think they're waiting until Gamescom maybe. They describe the demo. First person, they describe it and they're like, yo, this game, and they put out the specs of the computer that the game was running, the rig. I was like, oh, it was an i7 8700K, I think it was something like that, blah blah blah, 32 gigs of RAM. That's I think that's the main thing, is the RAM. That's a lot of RAM, and that's why the X has 12, 9 usable. So and the PS4 is 5.5, so it's gonna run like hot garbage on the Pro. It'll run better on the X. It'll run best on a monster rig with a freaking 1080 Ti. I mean, but they can do the resolution scaling and they can do other tricks to get the performance where it needs to be. And it was running 30 frames per second, so it's probably gonna be 900p on the Pro, 1080p on the X. I would say. I mean, if they do a higher resolution version, it's going to be rough. It's going to be frame drops. There's going to be all kind of stuff. It's probably going to be more popping and stuff like that, less draw distance. They'll have to balance. They'll have a high resolution version option for the X, but there'll be a balance. Well, actually, I don't. Oh yeah, they do that on The Witcher. They have a 4K version. They have a 4K option and they have a performance option, which is 60 frames. And I played the 60 frames. I was like, you know what? This is good for fighting. When you're fighting with 60 frames, really good. And actually, it doesn't look that much worse than the 4K option on the X. You can see the difference. But it depends how far you're sitting away. So, but anyway, but yeah, Cyberpunk is gonna be the game of this generation, and I think it's gonna be cross-gen. So it'll be out for PS4 and Xbox and the next systems as well. So it's one of those cross-generational things, but I don't think that counts so much anymore because the next Xbox will play this optimally. So you can't say, oh, it's an old generation game that's made for that they just ported up. That's not how it's working anymore because the PC version that they're showing now is better than anything that can play on the consoles now. So that version that they're playing now on the PC is literally the next gen is going to be the version on the next boxes, the next consoles. So it's next gen that can play on this gen, basically. And that's how most games, well, I can't speak for Sony because I don't know what they're going to do, but that's how most games as far as PC, Xbox, that's how they'll go, But dude, I'm because I was playing The Witcher 3 and I was like, oh man, I like this. And, I mean, this is last gen. This came out in when did The Witcher came out? 2015 or something like that. I bought it a while ago. Yeah, it was 2015, and that's 3 years ago. And so I was playing it. I was like, man, this game is good. This open world is big, and the trees is like, whoosh. And I'm like, this is 2015. I'm like a Ghost of Tsushima, right? And it's like, oh, people look at the breeze. I'm like, yo, that was on The Witcher. That's the same. It's basically y'all are 8 years later, 5 years later, so 3 years later. That's not coming out until a year or two. So 5 years later, you know, you're acting like it's this massive revelation. Ghost of Tsushima is so just go play The Witcher 3. Same difference. You get the breeze, you get the rain, you get drowners coming after you. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm looking at The Witcher 3 and I'm playing it. I'm like, I cannot wait to be in freaking Cyberpunk City, Central City, whatever it's called, City Center, whatever it's called. Oh man, I'm like, ugh, this is gonna be so good. And first person, so good. The Witcher does have really bad controls though. I was playing, I was like, oh man, I can't even get on Roach. This sucks. But you get used to it. But I think that was one reason why they switched to first person, so that they wouldn't have those weird control things happening. And it is more immersive. So, but yeah, that's my jam. So like you could be like, oh, God of War is the best. Nope, it's not gonna be. Soon as Cyberpunk comes out, God of War is kicked down the ladder. Boom. And I still think that The Witcher 3 is probably better than God of War, as far as the overall game, side stories, voice acting, everything. Because the scale is so huge. I think it's it's an open world game as opposed to God of War is a open-ish, sandboxy kinda. It's not really open world, so. But yeah, that was the thing. I was like, yo, Cyberpunk got me fiending, son. I haven't been like, yo, I need that game. I haven't been like that about a game in a long time. And I'm like, yo, I think Cyberpunk is gonna be the game. I think that's gonna be the period on this generation. Like, boop. And if it comes out like 2020 when the new gen comes out, and if, like, say the new next gen comes out, and Microsoft and Sony come out in the same year, and I will assume, this is what I'm gonna assume, that Microsoft is gonna make the most powerful system again, because it's kind of part of their mantra now. It was part of the original Xbox. The OG Xbox's we're super powerful monster machine. They lost money on them, but that's what they did, right? And now I'm like, okay, they made the S, which was what the OG Xbox One should have been, right? Which is still not as powerful as the PS4, but it was closer. It was on the right track. Then they made the X, and that one is, for what it is, it's super efficient for what it is, and it's really powerful for what it is. It's an old Jaguar CPU with super graphics card and a lot of RAM and speed and data speed, and all the built-in DirectX stuff and all that stuff that to optimize the performance. And that's the keys. It's performance optimization, and that's why consoles are in a way more powerful than PCs of the same spec, because of the optimization, not only on the programmer side, on the dev side, but the actual hardware optimization, because it's hard to do that on a PC without, you have to kind of brute force it, because it's modular, excuse me. So that's where console makers have the advantage, because they can make the traces exactly, from the CPU to the RAM, the shortest distance and all that. I mean, that's why you look at circuit boards and you see it going this way and that way, so that the data can reach the chips at like an exacting time, so that there's no bottlenecking, right? So that it's efficient. So if there's a trace here and there's a trace going all the way around here, I mean, there's a reason why they do that, so that the data can, either reach it in a sequential as fast as possible sequentially, or I guess it would be sequentially. That's how it works. But that's the advantage of console makers, where they can just specifically specifically create a system that's super efficient on that respect. To take away the whatever, the modular nature, the modular nature of PCs, and to put it so that you can create the fastest data stream. If you have the fastest components as far as memory and bus and speed and all that stuff, you can even make it faster than the PC with the same caches and RAM speed and all that stuff, because you can optimize the hardware placement. You can put chips closer together. Graphics chip, it was APU, right? It's all together, so it's super fast. I think there was even a newer technology where it was an APU, or it was a CPU and a GPU on the same, and it was just, I forgot what it was, but it was even faster. And I'm like, oh, so it's interesting. Where was I going with that? Which Cyberpunk's gonna be good, and that's gonna be my game of the generation. Forget God of War, forget everything else. And then I played some Halo 5 Guardians because it was in Game Pass, and I had it anyway, but I booted up on Game Pass. And I looked at the graphics are pretty, but I just don't want to play it. And people are like, oh man, this game sucks. I'm like, it's Halo, it's a good Halo game, but whatever. Don't want to play this right now. And it's like, if you look at it like as a future space military shooter, it's really good. Like how they have, we got to go after this guy and get Dr. Halsey, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. People just didn't like Locke, and I'm like, I don't understand why they hate him so much. He's just an analog or for Master Chief. Except Master Chief is cool or whatever. I don't know. Remake Halo 5. Make it so that it's all Master Chief, and Locke is one of your enemies that you have to fight and defeat. How about that? Instead of playing as Locke, you play as Master Chief the whole time. Done. Solved. I solved it. Shadow Next Gen says, is it really possible to make something sympathetic about a group that blows up planets? Yeah. That's the problem with taking the side of the Empire. Or the New Order. The New Order? That's what they're called, right? I don't know. I mean, what's the name of those two guys that are rebel stormtroopers? That it's like a comedy series. That's kind of funny, but that's just like a side thing. And I think they are canon. I think they were in The Last Jedi. I'm not sure, but I think they were. Or I think they were in Force Awakens when Kylo Ren had a tantrum and then they turned around. I think that was them, possibly. I don't think anybody said that, but yeah. So yeah, they can't. I mean, you can't, because the analog for the Empire was Nazis, and you can't be sympathetic to not even today. You can't. It just doesn't work that way. Yeah, you can't. They're bad. The Empire's bad. The Emperor was bad. I mean, there was a point before he had turned into the Emperor where he wasn't. Well, okay, he was turning bad. He was always bad, but he hadn't done the Order. Was it Order 66? Before that, there was a chance that they could turn it around, like get Palpatine out of there and get a leader in there that would not be evil. But they can't. Not anymore. They have to demolish the Empire or the New Order or whatever it's called, and First Order or New Order, whatever. And they need to just wipe them out and rebuild. I don't. How does this end? How does Star Wars? How does the Empire or the New Order, First Order? How does that end? What's the conclusion? I don't know what the conclusion. There always has to be like an authority or whatever, and if the authority becomes good, then who are the bad guys, right? If the Republic becomes a good place now and the Empire doesn't exist, the First Order doesn't exist, then who are the bad guys, right? Or do the Sith come back and the Sith become this? There's a new Sith Order, or is it like the I mean, it's hard to say. I was gonna say, is it like the Darth Maul thing where the crime syndicates get together, and then the Republic has to fight against them, or how do you create a movie universe with conflict that makes sense like that? I mean, like you look at Halo. Halo is just like Earth's UNSC trying to fight against the Covenant, basically. That's what it's always been. Then the Prometheans are in there, in the mix, which kind of confuses everything a little bit. I know they're trying to explain it and give us a little backstory about the Prometheans, because that's what all the technologies, all the structures are, Forerunner structures, and the Halo rings are Promethean technology. And it's kind of cool, but I didn't like the librarian or the other dude that looked like a devil demon. No, he looked like the Predator, but not as pretty. He didn't have the dreadlocks. Predator without the dreadlocks. But anyway, I was like, yeah, that guy. I didn't. And then they had a Promethean. What was his name? The juror. The warden. Was that it? The warden in Halo 5. I was like, who's this? And then he multiplied. I was like, I don't. Oh no, stop it. They went. Their bad guys aren't that good in Halo. And now Cortana's a bad guy, right? So, but I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know what they're going to do with Halo Infinite. So, we'll see. But, the struggle and the conflict in Halo is clear. Covenant versus UNSC. In Star Wars, it's the Empire versus the Rebels. If you fix the Empire problem and the Republic is now at peace, who are the bad guys? Sith? I would say the Sith. I would say that the Sith come back. I'm trying to think. In not the Last Jedi. Well, yeah, the Last Jedi. Kylo Ren is. He's not really a Sith. I guess he's more of a gray Jedi. Gray. Well, he's evil. He's evil, but he's not a Sith because he doesn't have a master anymore. But was Snoke a Sith? I mean, that's the thing. They haven't answered any of these questions. Like, I mean, on the surface, yeah, he's the bad guy with the Force. He's not a Jedi, so he has to be a Sith, right? Or he's just a bad guy with the Force, who's kind of using the rules of Jedi, of the Jedi Order, to manipulate, or I don't know. See, that's the thing. So I like the in between. I like the gray Jedi concept and stuff like that. And that's why I liked what they did with Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, except for the part where I totally forgot to take into account the hope, and how he lost it and all that stuff. And I hope I hope that they really do reconcile that whole hope issue with Luke to make things right for the next movie, because The Last Jedi is a good movie, and it's just a hope. He lost hope somewhere. Please give us some depth in why he lost hope. And I think that was the missing piece. I mean, Kajiro was right. He said it. It was when he lost hope. And we are dumb as audiences. I'm going to say that as a general statement. Not everyone's dumb, obviously, but as general audiences are, we're generally dumb. So you need to explain specifically why and how he lost hope, to make people understand why he's doing these things, And the fact that he force projected himself to Crate and save the rebels is him actually getting hope back, because he's saving the rebels. He's saving hope. It's that spark of hope. He's saving them. So he does, and if you think about it, he does have hope at the end, but I don't think people understood it, because they were too hung up on, oh, he wouldn't have done that. He would have went there. He would have been brave. It's not about being brave, because his bravery acts in the past movies were his hope taking over, and they weren't the most intelligent thing. He's wiser now. He knows that if he goes there in person, he's gonna die, right? I mean, he probably knows he's gonna die regardless, but he knows he's gonna die, and he knows that he can give them more time by force projecting, because he gave them like 10 more minutes or whatever it was by just force projecting, because they waste all the time shooting at him. Nothing, right? Then Kylo goes out there for another 5 minutes or whatever. Nothing. While the rebels in there watching like, we should run now, because he's and I guess Poe says that, right? It's so dumb. And then they run and they get away. Yay. So I think it's not a perfect movie. They needed to really be more specific and explicit about where the hope left, when the hope left, how it left, and how he gained it back. And it was it's simple adding a few. I think it's adding a few, maybe just 2 scenes to that movie that would explain, as far as the Luke Skywalker part. Now, as far as Leia floating through the sky, and I don't know about that, but in space, I don't know about that, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, Star Wars talk is over. Now it's time for Sony. Y'all ready? Buckle up, Buttercup. Y'all, hold on. Let me get some juice because I got to lubricate. Oh boy, that was yammy hammy. That's good. So, Sony. Oh, Sony. This is not Sony hate cast right now. This is what the hell is Sony doing cast. All right. So, Sony fanboys. Let's be specific real quick right now. Sony fanboys look at what Sony's doing right now, and they're like, Sony's on top. They're the leader. Why would they do this or why would they do that? They're justifying the bad behavior, the anti-consumer behavior that Sony is participating in, or yes, and that's the dumbest thing. That, I mean, look, you could be a fan, you could be a fanboy, but there comes a point where the fan that if you're a fan of something, if you're a fan of something and they're abusing you, there's a name for that. It's called Stockholm syndrome. And you know, I don't want to say that these fanboys have Stockholm syndrome, but it kind of looks like they have Stockholm syndrome because they're defending something that's hurting not literally hurting them, but hurting them in that they can't play games with friends if they choose to in certain situations. Not only that, that's just crossplay, but what they did that is super extra evil, right, is they locked down the Epic accounts. So if you have an Epic account, which is a third-party company, not owned by Sony, not owned by Nintendo, not owned by Microsoft, they are Epic. You go to epic.com, you could get the Unreal Engine 4, make some little games and stuff. Epic is their own entity, their own company. Epic account is not owned by Sony. Now, you can give a little bit of blame to Epic because they signed a deal with Sony, and obviously that contract dictates that they can allow this to happen, which is, so let's not all blame Sony. Let's blame Sony first and foremost because it's their contract. Let's give a little bit of pinch of blame to Epic too because they signed that goofy ass contract that dictated and stated that once you sign in with your Epic account, third party account to a PS4 and you link them, that's it. It's locked down. That makes no sense. If I had it on the Xbox, right? I'm playing on the Xbox. I'm like, yeah, boy, yeah. Epic account, right? I go to Epic. I'm playing on PC. Yeah, boy, same thing. Xbox, Epic account. I got all my skins. I got all my stuff, right? And I take that same Epic account that I bought all this stuff on the PC and on Xbox, and I log in to the PS4, Sony. It's trapped there. I can't go back to Xbox or PC, which I did there first. That's wrong. And if you log in first with your PS4, I can understand that. But all right, if you log in first with your PS4, that's fine. But that's not the case. The case is if you logged in on your PC, because this happened to somebody. They said I was on Xbox and I was on PC, and then I tried it out on PS4 just to see. And now it's their account is trapped on PS4 now. All their purchases. It angers me a lot. Even though I'm not part of like that ecosystem where I buy a whole bunch of stuff and skins and stuff, it's just I'm like, yo, that's wrong. That's just straight up wrong. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, you can't sugarcoat this. You can't PR spin this anyway. It's evil, it's wrong. And just go on YouTube and look at how many videos everybody's talking about Sony. What are you doing, Sony? And the thing is, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. You look at certain people, right? They're like, Sony, just let us play. Just come on. What are you doing? So come on, let us play. Instead of being angry about what Sony's doing, they're trying to be like, oh, come on, Sony, what are you doing? Like, Sony's the good guy, and they just messed up or something. No. Sony know what they're doing. Sony knows what they're doing. They're doing it for the money. And some people say, oh, it's not just for the money. Yes, it's exactly just for the money. Come on, son. What other reason is it if not for the money? It's all about the money. The dude, what's his name? He used to work at Sony. He's like, yeah, it's just about the money. Dumb reason, but that's it. I was like, yeah, shit, sounds right. And I'm like, and then there was another video that said, yo, Sony's so dumb. They are winning. They don't need to do this to keep winning. They won already. They basically said they won this generation already. What they're doing is hurting Sony. It's hurting the public percent. Did they not learn? Did Sony not learn in 2013 what public perception can do to your brand? They already lost points. I don't know if they gained the points back, but their stock dropped like 2 points when this whole thing went down with the Nintendo Switch and the locking out of the account. Their stock, when your stock goes down because of negative news press about your company, and that's the breadwinner. PS4 is the breadwinner for Sony. I'm like, yo, what? Okay, and so I keep thinking Sony is more like Trump. The more that the longer this generation, because. So what happens is, right, Sony puts out a press statement. They say, oh, well, we have over 80 million users on PSN and da-da-da-da-da, and they can play on PC or they can play on iOS or Android. So there's crossplay. What y'all talking about? We got nothing to say else, nothing further. Nothing further to say on this. That's not what Sony, smack. That's not what the issue is. There's two issues. One, it's about crossplay with Switch, not about PC, Android, or iOS. Nobody cares about Switch. This whole thing started with the Switch. When the Switch version of Fortnite came out, all of this started because everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I played on PS4. Now I'm gonna play it on my Switch because I love the PS4 and I love the Switch. Forget Xbox. I love these two." And then they find out, "Oh, I can't, cause Sony." So what is that doing? People who bought a Switch, was it 18 million people bought a Switch? They can't play Fortnite on Switch if they did. So let's say all the 18 million people who bought a Switch also played Fortnite on PS4. It's probably possible, right? It's not impossible. All those 18 million might be like, you know what? I'm getting me an Xbox One S or X if you're balling, because I can go crawl. I'm gonna start on Switch. I'm gonna start over on Switch, and I'm gonna go back and forth because I can't do it with Sony. I don't have a PC. I'm not playing on my phone because I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Sony, I don't understand. I don't understand how a company can sit there and say it's about the money. We don't want people buying stuff on Xbox and playing it on PC, on PS4. That don't make no sense. That makes zero sense, because here's the thing. If they buy some stuff on Xbox, like, yeah, okay, whatever, and then they move over to the PlayStation, right? They have the same Epic account, but they're like, yo, it plays better on the PlayStation, or all my friends are here, so I'm going to just play here now, from now on. And then they'll buy stuff on your store. But the way you have it now, you're forcing them to play there instead of options. But you know what the real thing is? Here's the real thing. Here's the real fear. And this is why Sony's doing this. because the best version of Fortnite is not on the PS4. It's on the Xbox One X. And they're afraid that people will go from the PS4 to the X because it's the better version. Right? That's what they don't want. It's not about the Switch. They're like, yeah, whatever, the Switch. They had to do this in order to cover all their bases. If they just allowed the Switch and not the Xbox, I mean that's possible, right? But you know what? I think they're still angry at Nintendo for the whole Nintendo PlayStation thing. So Nintendo's not their friend either. And so in retaliation, Xbox and Nintendo joined up, and I think it's an Xbox produced commercial that is for it is I think it's an Xbox produced commercial just in how it looks that was I think they gave to Nintendo to promote for the crossplay of Minecraft on Switch. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So so they said what was it? It's better together basically. They had the green and the red. And I'm like, that's some good ass marketing right there. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, everybody's got a Switch. A lot of people have, 40 million people have an Xbox. That's good. So 40 million plus, let's say 20 million on the Switch, right? What is that? 60 million playing, plus, I mean, that's just for Minecraft, which is, please, PC plus, mobile stuff. Please, Minecraft is huge. So if this is what would really just smack Sony up and down again. If Microsoft and Nintendo go to Epic and say, "Yo, we need a commercial. We need a commercial for Fortnite crossplay for Xbox and Switch and PC and whatever." You know what I mean? But just don't put Sony in it because, this whole thing. That would be, if they did that, oh my gosh. And all of this is like, oh, to pressure Sony into making crossplay a thing, right? And I'm like, first of all, we as consumers shouldn't have to pressure a company into being consumer friendly. Let's just say it that way. They are, oh man, it's so, I'm like, wow, really? And it's the hubris. Fred Rojas of the B Team and Gaming History 101 said it best. He said, Sony's hubris is strong. Well, I'm paraphrasing. Sony's hubris is strong, and it's growing even stronger this generation. Well, I put that last part in, but it is. And I'm like, okay, you guys are in the lead, but as leaders, you should set an example for the industry, not be dicks. Right now, Sony's being dicks. Dicks, asshole dicks. I'm saying bad words. They're being really bad people right now. If Sony was a person, you wouldn't want to be talking to that person. You'd be like, nah, don't invite them to the party. That's what's happening. But it's not like Xbox and Nintendo didn't invite Sony. Sony elected to not go to the party. It's like, yo, this is a party. Everyone's going. It's gonna be dope. It's all about the gamers, son. Sony's like, nah, we ain't going. No, thank you. That's beneath us. That's beneath. Yo, we're seniors. You guys are freshmen. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow. And you know what? Okay, let's do some hypothetical. Let's do some hypotheticals. Let's say Sony, I don't know. Let's say Sony goes and they make crossplay possible. They reverse the locking out the Epic accounts and all that stuff. They become the good guys. What if that happens? Does all this stuff is just under the bridge? No, just forget about all this stuff? Is that how it's gonna work? I mean, you know what? I hope that Sony sticks to their guns and they don't allow this, and it keeps compounding and compounding and compounding, and they keep putting their foot in their mouths. And I hope it hurts them. I mean, it's already hurt them in a way. I mean, I don't know how many billions did they lose. What was 2 points off of 40 billion? 2% of 40 billion is what? Let's see, 40 billion, 100. I don't know math and fractions and stuff like that. So let's see, 40. I mean, that's the last I know they were worth 40 billion. Or 39. I just rounded up 40. So if 40, let's do this. 40, 400, 100. That's how you do it, right? So 40, 400, 100, 2, 20, 0.25. So that's what, 250 million, I think. Yeah, it's not. I guess that's not all. I mean, it's money. If my math is right, probably not right. But my math is right. 250 million to a $40 billion company isn't a lot. So, because 1% is 4 billion. Oh, wait a second. No, that's not right. 1% is 1% of 40 is 4%. I mean, 1 billion of 40 billion is 1%, right? I mean, 4%. So you divide that, yeah, 250 million. That's what I mean. That's my rudimentary math skills. That's what I come up with. So, yeah, it's not a lot for a $1 billion company, $40 billion company, but if they're worried about the money, that's fine. But perception is the most important thing. If the perception is that you guys are assholes and dicks, you don't care about the consumer, which is happening right now. If Jim Sterling is talking about you, you're probably not pro-consumer, because that's all his videos are about, all the negative stuff in the gaming industry, pretty much. Unless he likes something really a lot, he'll do a video about that as well. But mainly his stuff is anti-consumer, bringing the anti-consumer practices to light. That's why I like watching his videos, because sometimes you don't realize what's going on, and you watch and it's like, oh snap, I didn't know they did that. But I mean, you know, it's ubiquitous. So a lot of the negative press about anti-consumer stuff in video games is all over. You know, it'll jump all over the place. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for Sony's next move. I want to see. I mean, this is what they're gonna do, and this is what they've been doing all this generation. They've been quiet, and they've ignored things. So they're gonna be quiet about this. They said they had no further right about this. So it is on Nintendo and Microsoft to keep pushing, not to make them change, but to make people realize that they should change. Just dump PS4 or Sony as the console, because yeah, they got some exclusives. That's all they got right now, because they're screwing you on every other way. Like, oh, you want to play Fortnite? You better play it on PlayStation. Sorry, that's messed up. That's bad. That's really bad press. That's really bad perception. That's causing negative perception, which causes, of course, like I said, a drop in stock. Dude, you know it's bad when your stock drops because of some bullshit you did. Like, what? Oh man. But they're not gonna do anything. They're just gonna stay there and be like, we're gonna, you know, we'll allow you to change your username. So remember when we thought that was gonna happen at E3? Nope. None of that happened. None of the things that people thought that was gonna happen. Like, oh, you're gonna, and now there's rumors that, you'll be able to download games on PS Now. Remember, I used to have a line in one of my songs that says, "No original idea since the Walkman." And I don't know. Actually, I don't think the Walkman was an original idea. I think they bit that too. But I'll give them that one. They are literally biting off of EA Play, they're literally biting off of Xbox Game Pass, which bit off of EA Play. I mean, EA Access, excuse me. And, well, I mean, that's good for gamers if they do that. But, yeah, no. See, this is what they're gonna do though. They're gonna do that and like, oh, now you can download games in PS Now. Now it's worth you paying for it. And so it's like, oh, that's positive news. Yay, PS4. Yeah, just forget about that. Just forget about the Fortnite thing that happened. Remember? Nah, what was that? Nah, we don't remember that. Nope. You know, that's what they'll do. They'll try to bring up good news in order to make you forget about the bad news. The same thing that Trump does. Distractionary tactics. He's distracting you. They are distracting you from the issues. And this issue is not going away. It's not like, oh, we're doing something good to make it better for play. No, you're not making it better. You're actually just doing something that will try to make you more money, which is what they're about, making the money. Of course, they're a business. And that's what Nintendo said. Nintendo said, yeah, we can't comment on how other people run their business, so, you know, whatever. But what we're doing is we're doing crossplay, so, hey. And I was like, oh, Nintendo takes the, you know, we're not going to get involved stance. Microsoft says, well, I wish they allowed it, but they're not. So, you know, consumers will get hurt. Phil Spencer said, if you have a kid and your friend has a kid and they both one has a PS4, one has an Xbox, and they go to play Fortnite, they can't play. And that was just a crossplay. That was just a crossplay discussion. He was like, that's not helping consumers. You know, if it's not helping the business or it's not helping games, it's not helping consumers, then what's the point? Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. And he's right, of course. But that's not even the issue. I mean, that is an issue, but that's not the issue. And that's what makes this so much worse than just not allowing crossplay, is hijacking your Epic account so you can't play your account anywhere else anymore. That's bull. I would be like, yo, class action lawsuit now, please. Does it say in the EULA that if I sign in to my Epic account to the PS4 that is locked there indefinitely? Does that say that in the EULA? Can someone please do a EULA read for the PS? I don't have a PS4, so I can't play Fortnite. I can't pull up the EULA on the Fortnite on PS4. Someone please get the EULA on the PS4 for Fortnite and post that somewhere, because I'm gonna look. You know what? I'm gonna look for it real quick because I think it should be out there, right? Let me look. I have to because this is how you spell EULA? EULA? EULA. EA user. No. EULA. God damn it. I think it's EULA, right? Oh boy. User end user license agreement. End user license agreement for Fortnite on PS4. News about EULA for Fortnite on PS4. Whoa. Oh, okay, they got it already. All right. Click on varieties. Let's see what this says. I'll put it up here real quick. I can't read up there. Sorry. I'll put it here. All right. Laws behind Fortnite's PS4 Nintendo Switch woes. When Epic and Nintendo dropped Fortnite on the day of Nintendo Showcase, fulfilling expectations, some players were met with a second surprise. They encountered an unexpected roadblock when trying to load in-game purchases they had made on another platform. This Fortnite account is associated with a platform which does not allow it to operate on Switch. That's so bad. That's so bad. That is so bad. Because the Fortnite account is not a PS4 account. It's a Epic Games account. Oh, okay. So what does the EULA say? Well, I can read the rest of it. The platform was PS4 and had that player loaded their account for even 1 second previously on a PS4. Whatever purchases they made on that account and whatever progress they had achieved were now locked to that console with no recourse. PS4 players cannot transfer their account to another video game console nor completely disassociate their account with the PS4. They were and still are stuck. One might ask if this kind of restriction is legal, considering the vast and and possibly embarrassing amount of money some might have spent on the game. The answer to that is there is no answer. Our current laws simply fail to acknowledge the problem. In fact, our legal system exacerbates it by placing the rulemaking in the hands of the profiteers. Okay. The end of ownership. In terms of the law, the existing legal rules tend to think about these issues primarily through the lens of end-user license agreements and terms of use. Those documents also universally say that consumers are not purchasing but are merely licensing content, and often they expressly forbid transferring those digital assets to another party, account, or service. Such user agreements recognizes, just as many do, are almost always one-sided documents that strip consumers of rights and insulate their drafters from responsibility. They are rarely read or understood by the consumers, and for good reason. They are incredibly long and complicated, and without the ability to negotiate industry-wide terms, consumers have no incentive to read them. In fact, it would be economically irrational to do so. Let's read one anyway. The Fortnite end-user license agreement states that regardless of any references Epic may make outside this agreement to purchasing or selling game, currency, or content, both game, currency, and content are licensed, not sold to you under license, which means that not only has Epic never actually transferred ownership of anything for players of Fortnite, but Epic can freely imply that such an action is happening in their marketplace even when it's not. What this earns Epic is exactly what eager Nintendo Switch players encountered on the game's launch day, and is again written right into that long, burdensome document that can't do anything about it. The EULA reads, except as otherwise prohibited by applicable law, Epic, in its sole discretion, has the absolute right to manage, modify, substitute, replace, suspend, cancel, or eliminate game currency or content, including your ability to access or use game currency or content without notice or liability to you. You may not transfer game currency or content except within the software as expressly permitted by Epic. So wait a second, this is Epic, not PS4? As it turns out, despite how it may look or even how it's implied by Epic itself, those in-game items are no more than tickets to rides in an amusement park. You can get kicked out of the park at any moment, of course. Despite this outsized power, though, Epic has uniquely enabled and promoted the cross-platform transfer of user accounts across almost every platform, save that which happens to have the highest user base of all modern consoles, PS4. It appears Epic would prefer to sell a ticket that can be used at any park, but Sony would rather kick someone out entirely and rip their tickets rather than let the replica park across the street do any business at all. It turns out that the supposed sole discretion ascribed to Epic and the EULA has somehow given way to another party, Sony. Arguably one of the few entities in the game industry today with more power and more leverage than the makers of Fortnite. Przanowski agrees, saying that in this case it looks like Sony is the one standing in the way of portability. Assuming Epic is opposed to that move, its ability to stand up for consumer turns largely on the nature of its contractual relationship with Sony. If Sony insists on this sort of authority, which would surprise me, Epic could try to pressure Sony publicly or privately, but it may not have much in the way of legal recourse against Sony. Sony's only statement on the matter further delivered by I'm not reading that. I'm not reading that again. Sony is making a bet on their 80 million active users who have invested so much in not only their PS4-based Fortnite accounts, but their PlayStation Network accounts that comprise years of digital purchases, which also can only be played on PS4. That's leverage. And Sony is using it against not just Sony is using it against not just its now dependent user base, but also Epic itself, which benefits enormously from every platform Fortnite inhabits. Microsoft Xbox One has underperformed, Nintendo Switch is still on the rise, so both of those companies seek to benefit from the goodwill and user migration that comes with opening their digital doorways across previous uncrossed borders. Microsoft and Nintendo have similarly allowed cross-platform communications in games like Rocket League and Minecraft, with Sony the holdout there as well. Because nobody actually owns anything in Fortnite and beyond, Sony is equipped. Jesus. Variety sucks. Now I can't read the rest because they have this stupid thing in a freaking thing. I can't read the stupid thing. Hold on, let me see if I can get her. I can't get around it. Well, whatever. That's it. I can't read anymore. Suck, Variety. I was gonna pimp your site, but you blocked the thing. But yeah. So yeah, that's that's it. I mean, Epic put the law down, but Sony is making it so that you can't. That doesn't make any sense. How is Epic allowing this? It has to be contractual with Epic and Sony. Sony, like, I know Fortnite came out. Oh wait, is it that exclusive contract that they had? How long is that exclusivity contract? Or well, Fortnite's on Xbox already, so it has to be over, right? I don't know. It's got to be in contracts, man. It has to do something with contracts, right? Where, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Like, if it's an Epic account, dude, if I was Epic, I would be so mad right now because they could be selling so many more things on the Switch. No, because it's a free game. People are playing the free game. Wow. Sony done effed up. I'm just waiting for the next F up, Sony. Z1 Scorpio, thanks for showing up. I'm out. I'm leaving now because it's 9 o'clock. Appreciate y'all hanging out. I feel better. I'm not 100%, but you know how it goes. Time will tell. But Kajudo, thanks for calling in. Hopefully one day I'll fix the audio. I don't know if I will. Tiger Claw, DC Nation, Next Gen, Burr, all you guys in Discord, appreciate y'all hanging out. And that's it. I got nothing else to say. I'm probably gonna play the Xbox later. Doopity doop doop. Tilt the weight and all I guess. Oh yeah, also shout out to the Potbelly Gamers. I listen to their podcast on Fridays at 6 to 8. I think it's 6 to 8 on allgames.com/live. Or yeah, just go there. The Discord chat is on that page. So you go there and you click on the Discord chat right there on allgames.com/live and you're in like Flynn, son. But yeah. So it's that, and then but yeah, all the other games. Miles Minute, DPL. I think it was yesterday, but I keep missing it because I'm not used to Saturday DPL, so I don't know. But maybe he's coming down after me. I don't know. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out. I'm out. Tilt the weight. Later, all games. And I'm out of all games. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all hanging out. I'm out. Oh, that sounds all right. All right, guys. Tilt the weight. I want to see if this. No, I don't want to see if this works. All right, y'all. Well, actually, let me test it real quick. I want to test the music. Let the music play. We don't pay, don't pay. Somebody don't dabagoo, don't pay, play. See what happens. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh snap! It works. It works. It just doesn't work on all games. Cool. Yo. I'ma just spin in the flow. I'ma just grin in the crow. I'ma just go. I'ma just end in the show. I'ma just flicky flow. I'ma just blow. I'ma just griggly grow. I'ma just play on the pro. Not X, yes, best when I go flow. I'm on the pretty pro. I'm on the plane when I don't swab in the bow. I'm a no grime in the bro. I'm a no dime in the dough. I'm a no sign by the time when if I know I'm in the know. I'ma just jibber on flow. I'ma don't get the non dough. I'ma gon' flow. I'ma just no crib, I'm on the sum of no sip, I'm on no grip, I'm on the dim of the dough, I'm on the sum of the snow, I'm on the no, but similar flow, the dough, that I'm on the Kim and the Co. Yo, I'm out. Till to wait.